All right. Well, thanks for coming in today, Mr. Ortiz. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's another day.
Another day in paradise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle for you to be here.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as what I've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I know it can be hard for a lot of people, but it sounds like you're obviously trying to make the best of it.
Yeah, for the most part.
Good. In our last sessions, we were talking about how it's all very new. You're here all the time, every day, all day. So, just take it step by step. You're doing great. And first of all, you should be proud of yourself for even, coming here and seeking the help that you're seeking. So I respect you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how's your day going? I mean,
It's all right. It's kind of rainy out. I like the rain.
Yeah.
It's different from the sun.
I know.
It's so sunny. It's so hot.
We don't get a lot of rain in New Mexico.
No.
So it is nice to have the rain.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, great. Well, from our last session, we talked a little bit about some of the aspects of CPT and what it means, and then also we talked.
What is the CPT again?
I'm sorry. Thank you for catching me on that. So CPT stands for Cognitive Processing Therapy.
All right.
Thank you for catching me on that. And if I use language that doesn't make sense to you, please stop me and let me know, because I want to make sure that you're understanding what we're talking about. That's really important.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. So we talked about some of the cognitive process therapy principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also talked about the worksheet that I gave you, the ABC worksheet, which stands for activating event, your belief, and then your feeling around it. So were you able to fill that out?
No, I think I forgot that one.
Okay. All right, and so that's really important, so we'll go ahead and do that today then, okay?
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So here is the worksheet, and I'll just kind of explain it again for you. So this is the activating event. So what we're going to do today is we're going to write down some event that triggers some of the emotions that you're experiencing around your post-traumatic stress, right? So we're going to figure out what some of those activating events are.
Okay.
So we're going to write those down, and then also some of the beliefs that you tell yourself whenever you go back to Vietnam and when you experience those situations. What is it that you're telling yourself?
Okay.
So write that down, and then what are the feelings connected to these beliefs or the event? So let's do that real quickly. So you can work on that, and also some of the things that might help with that are when you're identifying some feelings.
What is this one? Something happens, eh?
Yep, so whatever triggers you, gives you those emotions or those feelings of being back in Vietnam, whatever it is, whatever those activating events are, that kind of trigger you to go back to that place.
Well, I guess sometimes certain smells make me activate it, I guess. I don't know what they are. I don't know how to describe them.
Okay. But they just remind you of...
Yeah. And I think that is one of the things it's activating.
Do you notice a particular place that you're in that you have these...
Just walking around the city.
Around. Yeah.
There's a lot of smells in the city.
Yeah, it's true.
And some of them really activate.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So smell is a great one. What is it? So then what is it that you tell yourself when you go back? So you say it's a trigger, right?
Yeah.
What is it that you're telling yourself when you go back to that place?
I don't feel like I'm telling myself anything. I just feel a feeling.
What is it that you're feeling?
Panic.
So a feeling of panic.
Yeah. So I don't know what it's associated with. always. Sometimes I just smell something that's strong and it makes me panic.
Feel a little anxious.
Yeah.
Got it. And so when you're in that panic state, what is it that you are telling yourself either to, like, what is it that's going through your mind at that time?
Get away. Probably run away.
Run away from what?
I don't know. It just tells me to move.
Just to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel like a need to leave the situation.
Right. Yeah.
So because of your anxiety, because of the feeling that you're feeling, the panic feeling, when you have that smell or triggering event, your first thought is just to leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So let's talk a little bit more then about another activating event. So, for example, you had mentioned in our last session that you feel like you feel somehow responsible for your friend's death there at Vietnam, right? So that's a belief. What is it that triggers that belief that you experience?
Probably because I told his family that I would look after him, and he made the same promise to my family about me,
right.
And I couldn't keep that promise.
Right.
So it's my fault.
So is there a particular situation, or have you noticed that you're in a particular situation or place where you reflect, where you have those feelings come back to you again?
Probably when I look at, like, when I see photos of my old family or my life before the war, and remembering what connections I had and my friends and my family, and just feels like it's all my fault. Like it was like I'm guilty of taking it all, and that all those men that I was with could have been saved by me if I had held my promise, but I don't know how I could have.
Yeah, so you're feeling guilty. So the feeling of guilt implies that you did something wrong. What was it that you feel like you did wrong?
I don't know what it was specific. I just know that it was that I was supposed to have done. I just didn't do something. Like, for some reason, I couldn't protect my friend, and I said I would, and I was supposed to, and I couldn't. And I don't know what it was. I don't know what I could have done. I don't know if there was anything.
Right. So let's look at that. Let's just talk a little bit about that. Let's examine this thought process here. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to ask you to kind of think about the situation again and where you were at and what was going on.
Okay.
Because, and you know, at any point, if you need to take time to breathe or whatever, that's okay. But it's really important that we walk through this because that's part of what we're here to accomplish. We're here to help you understand that, number one, that a lot of what PTSD is surrounded by is faulty beliefs around what happened, right? So, for example, here's a little handout here for you, and it kind of maps it out for you. So you have whatever the triggering event is. Maybe it's a nightmare, maybe it's an image, like you mentioned, photographs, right? So that obviously triggers some sort of emotion in you, and you mentioned guilt or shame. Whatever it may be that you're experiencing, it triggers some sort of emotion.
Right.
What happens is that we avoid these thoughts and we avoid these reminders, and then we suppress this emotion.
Oh.
And it creates problematic behaviors, problematic experiences. So, for example, aggression or self-harm or substance abuse, which obviously that's something that you're obviously struggling with as well. So all of these things then are associated with whatever our belief is and our emotions connected to how we're processing the event. Okay? And so what we're aiming to do is to look at those thoughts and beliefs and restructure it so that you can deal with whatever's coming, and then as you find new ways to look at the situation, then the idea is, and it will reduce those negative emotions, and you'll have maybe less symptomology or even a better ability to cope with these feelings.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of dive into this a little bit. So again, like I said, if you need to take time to breathe or whatever, that's okay. Okay. So when you were, you were mentioning again the feeling of guilt, and that you felt like you should have done something to save your friend and some of the other members in your company. Let's look at that and let's see what was going on. So could you tell me a little bit about the situation? What was happening at the time?
Can I take a minute?
Absolutely.
Okay.